Welcome to our first ILTA TV for ILTACon with our senior leadership team. I'm joined today by Joy Heathrush, ILTA CEO, and Dawn Hudgens, ILTA VP of Service Delivery. I'm Beth Ann Stevie, and I'm the Director of Publications and Press, and I am very pleased to be joined by both of you today. Welcome.
Thank you, Beth Ann. It's always a pleasure.
Well, I've got three questions, and we want to kind of start out with, we're going back in person. This is amazing. We're thrilled to be there together. We're at the Gaylord National and National Harbor in Maryland this year. It's the first time we've been back in person in a couple years. Do you want to take just a moment to say what that means to you and why ILTACon right now? Joy?
Well, this is ILTACon number 26 for me. And that's pretty exciting all by itself. But the thing is, what I've been hearing, ever since the beginning of the pandemic is I can't wait till we're together again. I can't wait till we're together again. And that's just the feeling. When the last time we had a big ILTACon, really kind of normal sized ILTACon in person in 2019, we did a family reunion kind of skit on stage at the opening ceremony. And that's really true. That's the feeling. So the content has been fantastic throughout our ILTACon experience, whether it's been ILTA-On virtual event in 2020, whether it's been our hybrid event last year. The content being excellent goes without saying, but that chance to be in person, to network with people that maybe you've only talked to on the phone or seen on the e-groups or seen on video, there's just nothing like it.
Yeah. So I'm extremely excited because we are in person and now is the time to do it. We were in person last year. Some people were able to join us. Some people have joined us from a digital standpoint, but now we can all be together at the same place. And there's no better place than the Gaylord at National Harbor. The footprint is much smaller. So it's a nice way to ease back into a conference because we'll all be putting in several thousand steps a day. So we're not going to kill ourselves at our first back in person conference at full force. We have some amazing education this year. Our education is always good, but this year in particular, it's really stellar. We have someone coming on site to do legal Six Sigma training, specifically for legal. I'm not sure where you're going to find that anywhere else than with ILTA. So that's something that's really great. We have 72 educational sessions, but when you take in the master classes and the company updates and our innovation hub and the investment hub and other things that we have going on, you have 116 opportunities to actually educate yourself on things going on in the legal community. And I am extremely proud about that.
I said, why now? And what would you tell, Joy, we'll start with you first. What would you tell one of your colleagues who was thinking about bringing his new hires, his new associates, new managers, new to IT? What would you tell them to come now?
That is a fantastic question. One of the things that's always been interesting to me is how many organizations choose ILTACon to do team building within their own organizations. And especially now, as people are coming back into the office, and depending on where you are geographically, some have been in longer than others. In some cases, maybe only 1 or 2 days a week. In some cases, not to any meaningful level at all. And they may be meeting for the first time here. So meeting each other, much less networking with people in other organizations. And being able to do that in a place where the focus is not meeting that deadline or executing that project, but the focus is learning about each other, educating yourselves, getting energized to prepare for the upcoming budget year, for whatever other work you have to do. That's unique. And I think particularly for brand new people, nothing is going to get them into the culture of the community like ILTACon. It's absolutely unique in that way.
Well, Beth Ann, to answer your question, why now? Because we can, and that's a great thing to be able to say. And just to piggyback a little bit off of what Joy was saying, this is a great time to jumpstart your career, your networking, your education. ILTACon offers all of those things. And if some of my favorite stories when I talk to people about why attending ILTACon, it is the relationship factor. They have built long-lasting, deep relationships, not only from a personal level, but also from a level for business, for their careers,
That's right.
that surpasses anything else. So if you want to be a superstar at your job and you want to make it look like you have all the answers, ILTACON is really the place to get those answers, because those relationships are only a small text or a small phone call away. If you don't have that answer already, there's hundreds of other people who do. So it's just a great place to be. It's a great network to have. And there's truly nothing like it.
I don't think I could have asked a better follow-up to that than you guys have both been involved in ILTA in so many different ways, from a business partner perspective, from a member perspective, from being really kind of there at the forefront of all of this, Joy. What's your best memory at ILTACON? Because it does seem like people start out together and they're still friends sitting around a bar or a reception or next to each other in sessions, laughing about things they were at a decade ago even.
Oh, one of my favorites is we were at a venue that had a fountain in the front. And I was just walking by the fountain and there was a guy sitting there and he was looking at his BlackBerry. So that tells you the era that we're talking about. But he was looking at his BlackBerry, and it was someone that used to sit in the office next to mine 12 years before. And it was just like, wow, Bob Nagy, I haven't seen you in 12 years. That is an ILTACON kind of moment. And absolutely one of my favorites. The time when you can, so many times when I've gone up to someone and said, you don't know me, we've never met. I read the article that you wrote. I attended a session you did. I was watching one of your posts on the e-group. You gave me some advice that I needed right at the moment that I needed it. And then thank you. And they became lifelong friends. I mean, my husband laughs at me, but it's true. I could go to any major city almost in the world and have an ILTA friend where I could go stay at their house. That's just it.
Yeah. And that's very true. I was sitting here thinking, trying to come up with my favorite memory, and I really actually came up with two. And you didn't limit us, so I'm gonna have to, and you can edit
That's
it
my
out.
fault. I'll do that next time.
But one of my favorite memories, it was in 2019, and we were at the opening reception at the Dolphin. And my friend Barbara, who was not my friend at the time, I didn't know her at the time. Her friend Barbara came up to me from Brazil. And you would have thought that I was a rock star or a superstar with how she treated me. Could not wait to meet me, and made me feel so very special. We laugh about that now. That was a great memory. My second memory was my first ILTACON, and I was in our corporate suite and talking to Deepak Masan, who at the time was CEO of Latera. And we were discussing what made ILTA and what made ILTACON in particular a very important event. And he was telling me the story of how his business got started, why it got started, and how the people at ILTACON, those attendees at ILTACON, embraced him, challenged his way of thinking, and how he was able to develop things based on the need at the time that wasn't being met, and how everyone was so open and ready to give feedback. It was very much like a family. Well, he said better than a family environment. I'm sure we probably all know what that means. But it was great. And it's that type of networking. It's that type of relationship building on both sides, from the business partner perspective and the attendee member perspective. It's that collaboration aspect that is truly different and special. And so I really can't wait to see what happens this year in 2022.
We hear it a lot from our volunteers that they want to get together with their friends, their colleagues. They want to meet the people that they have talked to over the years, and they just may not have been able to be at the last ILTACON, but they want to be at this one. And I know that I speak for our staff when I say that we want to see our business partners, our members, our volunteer teams. We want to be with them as well. So it's now for us all. And until next time, we'll talk with you guys next week about more to come for ILTACON. Thank you both.
Thanks.
Thanks, Ann.